Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, everybody, hope y'all had an awesome Easter Sunday. Had a great day celebrating with family. Great couple of days, actually, the long weekends. We took off Friday. So we had the great long weekend with friends and family and had a great Easter. Hopefully, all of you did as well. Uh, Baseball being swept at Arkansas, notwithstanding. But we'll talk more baseball. I'm sure some of you have questions about that, and we'll get to it. But LSU and Iowa, it's tonight in the Elite Eight. So this is a rematch, of course, of the national championship game where LSU won the program's first national championship a year ago in Dallas. It's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. The most viewed women's basketball game ever, 9.9 million viewers. The You Can't See Me, the Angel pointing at a ring, the controversy surrounding afterwards when Jill Biden wanted to invite Iowa to the White House as well, the SNL sketch, all of it. So it's a round two, although this time Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are still there, but dramatically different otherwise. We can start with just the game itself a year ago. And the thing that I think everybody will probably remember is that Jasmine Carson went off. Like, she didn't miss. She scored 22 in that game. Well, Jasmine Carson's gone. LSU's second leading scorer was Alexis Morris with 21 points, and she's gone. And the third leading scorer in that game was LaDasia Williams, and she's gone. So LSU's top three scorers from that game a year ago are gone. Obviously replaced with the triumvirate of Nisa Morrow, the DePaul transfer, Haley Van Lith, the Louisville transfer, and Michaela Williams, the freshman five-star number one player in the country. So you lost a lot of experience, a lot of depth, veteran presence, and you replaced it with a lot of really talented players, but different. And I think, also of significance is it was Alexis Morris who drew the assignment guarding Caitlin Clark last year. And we all know Alexis Morris is now with the Harlem Globetrotters. So Flaugier draws that assignment this year. And, Clark got hers last year. But I think if I remember correctly, and hang on, I'm going to try to look up the box score from that game. I'm not going to try. I'm going to look up the box score from that game. Clark in that game, almost every shot she took was a three-pointer. LSU did a great job. Alexis Morris did a great job of keeping her out of the lane and pressuring her. And here you go. 102-85 was the final. So Iowa scored 85 in that game. Caitlin Clark finished with 35 minutes. She had 30 points. And she was 8 of 19 from three, 9 of 22 from the floor. So 19 of her 22 shots were threes. And 8 of her 9 makes were from three. So she only made one 2-point field goal. Caitlin Clark did in that game last year. So it'll be very interesting to see if Caitlin Clark takes a different approach. Does she try to drive to the basket? Does she create space, shoot mid range? It's almost like you acknowledge that, okay, Caitlin Clark's going to score and she's going to get hers. Just don't let her score 40. Just don't let her getting hers beat you. And the other thing too is they're big from a year ago. Their forward was Zanano. What was that girl's was with an M. Zanano. It's like Czino. Y'all remember if you saw her. I don't remember her first name. Something with an M. Uh, Monica. That was it. Monica Zanano was her name. So she's gone to replaced by Hannah Stolke. So anyway, LSU Iowa 6 o'clock is the tip. ESPN. Winner goes to the Final Four. The only bummer is that this isn't a Final Four game, but it's LSU Iowa in the Elite Eight. Caitlin Clark and all that jazz should be a huge game, huge audience. So we'll be locked into it. Okay, let's say some good mornings. See what y'all got. As always, we appreciate you for being here. Oh, one more thing, by the way. Iowa, excuse me, is a 1.5-point favorite in the game. As I look at ESPN's their matchup predictor on their analytics, it's like 50-50, like 50.0 to 50.1. I don't know how that works because that makes 100.1%. But anyway, it's like right down the middle, 50-50. So here's hoping we'll have another great game and Tigers win it. So we'll see. Okay, Jesse Brown, good morning. Officially draft month. Yes, sir. Brett Gidry, oh, yeah, it is. It's April 1st. Beware the April Fool's jokes today. Wendell Norman, what's going on? James McKinney, Ryan Slayton, Trivia Carter, good morning. Cliff Nelson, what's good, Uncle Scone? Let's see. Dale Broussard, score prediction for women's basketball. I think both teams will score a lot. I think it'll be a close game. I don't know that LSU scores 102 like they did last year, but remember, a huge part of that was Jasmine Carson. Jasmine Carson scored 22 and off the bench, and she was 5 of 6 from 3. Like, she didn't miss in the first half. It was crazy. So, I just think stylistically, it's got to be a different game. I don't think you're going to see 102 to 85. Brett Gidry saw men's basketball got a commitment from the portal. Might be late on this. They did transfer portal commitment. It is Cam Carter from Kansas State. I'll tell you about him. Hang on. That happened Friday while we were off. Finished his high school career in Virginia, but he's a native of Donaldsonville. He'll be making the return to the SC after 1 year at Mississippi State, then 2 years at Kansas State, and now back into the SEC with LSU. So 6'3", averaged 14 points, 5 boards, and 2.5 assists per game this season at Kansas State. So pretty versatile guard there, Louisiana native. So love it. Larry Garner, good morning. Bill Caffey, good morning. Carrie Hughes, good morning from Chicago. Hope you all had a great Easter. What are you doing for the game tonight? Well, Carrie, I don't get off air till 6. The game tips at 6. So I'm going to race home and watch it at the house. So don't know what else I can do. David Tolson, rough weekend for the baseball Tigers. Tiger Diver, Luis Solomon. Hey, Dad, good morning. Matt Plavidal, good morning. Kirk Taylor, Michael Cook. Glad to see everybody here today. Let's see. Cajun Country don't like baseball's lost 5 straight SEC series going back to last year. Good note. They're only 2 plays away from being 4-5. Schedule lightens a bit. Let's get some. Well, the schedule doesn't lighten a bit for 2 more weeks because you got to play Vanderbilt this week, and then you're at Tennessee. So the grind isn't over, man. But it would be fantastic to find a way to scratch out a series win this weekend. And get a game back and at least feel like you're on the right track a little bit. This is, by the way, another Thursday, Friday, Saturday series this weekend. for LSU baseball. So they start the Vanderbilt series on Thursday. They have a midweek game against Southern. They play it tonight. Oh, they play Southern tonight. Wow. Yeah, at 6:30. Well, with the wow. Uh, with the women playing at 6, I'm not sure there's going to be a ton of interest in the baseball game tonight at 6:30. But LSU does play Southern tonight at 6:30. Kirk Taylor, why isn't Milazzo in the lineup? Great question, Kirk. I mean, the answer is, just functionally that Jay Johnson's trying to get more bats in the lineup, and so doing, he DH'd Ethan Fry, which meant Travinsky had to catch because you're not taking Travinsky out of the lineup, even though Travinsky is scuffled of late. But don't get me wrong, I'm not in any way suggesting Travinsky should come out of the lineup. He should not. He's even with the scuffle this past week, he's still been right there along with Tommy White, your best offensive player. So White's hitting 319, Travinsky and Bingham are each hitting 313. And Travinsky's on base percentage of 457 still leads the team. So even after a tough weekend, Travinsky is still your dude. So he's not coming out. So if you're the one game this weekend they did DH Travinsky, they moved Neal behind the plate because again, Jay's trying to find pop in that lineup. Now I would argue that I'd rather guys that are contact hitters that put the ball in play that are going to keep the offense moving, keep the merry-go-round going, and get on base for your poppers so you don't have as many solo homers. Kind of getting annoying to see, quite honestly. But I would like to see Milazzo catch. I would. Travinsky this weekend against Arkansas. Let's see, he was 2 for 3 on Thursday. Then he went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts and 0 for 4 with a strikeout Saturday. So Friday 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, Saturday 0 for 4 with a strikeout. So in games 2 and 3, he ended up going 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. Not great, but look, again, game 1 with Hagen Smith on the bump, he homered, was 2 for 3. He was 1 for 3 against Southeastern. Had a good weekend against Florida, 2 for 4, 1 for 3, 0 for 2 with a walk. I mean, he's still so that's the point. Like Travinsky's got to be in the lineup. Neil Weaver, good morning. Cliff Nelson, biggest question: how much of guarding Clark will take away from Flage's offense? Well, I mean, Cliff, it's a good question, but Alexis Morris had 21 last year, and she was guarding Caitlin Clark, and so she was her second leading scorer at 21. I guess the difference on this team is you don't rely on Flage to score, although she has been awesome in this tournament. And I think that's probably the biggest difference in Flage's game year to year has been her ability to score. So Flage is averaging 14 a game in the tournament. Let's see. Flage had 14 against Rice, 21 against Middle Tennessee, and 24 against UCLA. So she's exceeded her. She matched her average against Rice and exceeded it each of the last 2 games. So she has been more of an offensive player against Middle Tennessee and against UCLA. Kelly Gross, good morning. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Bubba Smith, what's going on? Matt Plavidal, problem with baseball is they are unclutch in all facets, SEC-wise. Rick Hess, Guy Brooks, Brandon Ray, Silo, Nicole Havard, good morning. Henry Burrell, morning, Matt from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Your thoughts on the LA Times article? Yeah, Henry, I don't know if you saw, I'm sure most of you did see, but the LA Times did revise their article, and they took out the dirty debutantes line. It's kind of stunning that that it was conceptualized, written, and passed, I would assume, both an editor and a deputy editor, uh, and made it to publication, and was only revised after the game when Kim Mulkey blasted them, and then everyone went and read it, 'cause I don't think many people read it before. Then everyone went and read it and was appalled, and then Twitter did what Twitter did to it, and then they revised it. Um, it's just so there's 2 parts to it, Henry. Number 1, it just is a difference when you're talking about men and women, and they're held to different standards, and it's laughable. It's the same thing with the Kim Mulkey stuff. Like, I mean, how many great coaches of men's sports are known to be like a-holes? Now, I'm not talking about Bob Knight choking a player. Okay, like there's a line where you're doing like choking a player, throwing a chair across the court. Like I'm not talking about that. Okay. I'm talking Nick Saban reaming his players coming to the sideline. The time he smacked AJ McCarron on the backside, looked like he broke his hand off. I mean, all of the intense, um, all of that stuff associated with Nick forever, it's brushed aside as, oh, he's a great competitor. He wants to win. It's why he wins, blah, blah, blah. With Kim Mulkey, it's she berates players. She's unbecoming. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a different standard. So the same too, while you would even conceptualize writing that piece um, in the LA Times, like I can't imagine um, you can get your point across. Um, and there have been teams that have been vilified in the past. I mean, you can go back to the Notre Dame Miami game, the Catholics versus convicts, but that was a shirt that, a student at the time made that became really popular. Um, those Miami teams sort of embraced the villain role. Um, the Bad Boys Pistons of the 80s. I mean, they were literally called the Bad Boys. Um, but a lot of them they're vilified, but they're celebrated for their role, right? Um, I don't blame Kim Mulkey one iota. Um, you know, sometimes Duke has always played the role of villain. You know, there's a documentary. I still hate Christian Leighton, or I hate Christian Leighton, or whatever. I mean, you're always going to have like heroes and villains in sports. It's one of the appealing things about it. You know, but when you take it to like a personal insulting level, I think that's when it feels different. I think that's the reason that it felt that way. And good for the Times for editing the piece, but they only did it or revising it. They only did it because they were pressured. It should have never happened to begin with. Darren Mayer, good morning. David Tolson, I'd rather have Caitlin Clark shoot from 3 all game than if she has a balanced approach, getting her teammates involved with a ton of assists. That's true, David. And she had double-digit assists uh, the last game out. Excuse me. Um, Sorry. You might just have to trust me. Let's see. I'll find it. In the meantime, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Caitlin Clark against Colorado had 29 points and 15 assists. Told you it was double-digit assists. Found it. Let's see. Ronnie Duke, good morning. Doctor said mom's kidney removal went good. Complications has her still in the hospital. She's well, Ronnie. I'm glad that the removal went well, and prayers and hopeful that she's continuing on her way to recovery. Man, best to all of you. Antron Hemingway, good morning. Happy April Fool's as well. Justin Hosky, morning. Do you feel we do this yearly slow start? No. I'm sure you're talking about baseball. No. Last year you had the disappointing series opener with A&M, if I'm not mistaken. Where you won the first two, and then you let game 3 get away from you. You should have swept them, but you won the first series. Then you won the Arkansas series, and you lost the Friday game that went to extras, and then you ruled them on Saturday and beat them 14-5 on Sunday. So you won your first 2 series. Then you beat Tennessee 2-3. So you won your first 3 series before the South Carolina series. And if you remember that one, that was where game 3 got canceled because of the weather. So you split against South Carolina 1-1. You beat Kentucky 2 out of 3. You swept Ole Miss. You swept Bama. You didn't lose a series to Auburn on May the 5th. Then you lost the Auburn and Mississippi State series. So you won every series up until your final 2 of the year. So no, I don't think they do this every year. Pat Huseman, morning. Looks like Larry's making the last show for Curb, shaping up to be the last show of Seinfeld, no doubt. Pat, from the first episode. So if you're not watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, I don't want to give any spoilers, but from the very first episode, that's the observation I told my wife. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's I'm sure why you thought Latte Larry's." I said he's going to do the same thing. It's going to be the Seinfeld finale all over again. Kirk Taylor, kneel in and out. Malazzo can get the ball and play. Matt, let's see, we need guys like Cags. He had to walk off again. You do realize Jack Caglione is going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. Like, not everybody has one of those. LSU's got plenty of guys that can hit the ball out of the yard. The problem is they've had trouble with the contact hitters. Ethan Davidson, morning, Matt. What is with other teams having success with their freshmen and highly recruited players? We're struggling with ours. Like who, Ethan? I mean, you got to be a little more specific than that. I mean, I can look and say Steven Milam's become your everyday second baseman. Ashton Larson and Ethan Fry are both becoming more a part of the offense. Cade Anderson had been your midweek guy. You're trying to work him into some kind of a weekend role. I mean, what are we talking about here? I need you to be more specific. Jerry DeLucky, morning. Uncle Scone, Jerry. Uncle Scone. Getting closer to draft night. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. So we are going to be, had the conversation last week, Jerry. We're confirmed. We are at Don Juan. So draft night again on the Thursday, first round of the draft. We will be having our draft watch party. So y'all make plans and join us over at Don Juan for the first round of the NFL draft on that Thursday. The date is Thursday, April 25th. April 25th. We'll see y'all there. Justin, I'd let Clark do her thing. Don't allow her to have 20 assists. Spurge, good morning. Bob Poole, good morning. Cliff, Kim Mulkey's getting treated like most villains. Example, if Clark goes after a referee, she's passionate. If Reese does it, she has no class. I mean, we saw that last year too. Let's see. Patrick, Hope you and the fam had a great Easter. Go Tigers. LA Chris, that was hurtful to read about our girls. Rocky Killian, good morning. Eric Hart, good morning. Love seeing the pics E-Rock posted of your family and the Easter celebrations. Happy belated Easter to Team Drew. Happy Monday. Thanks, Eric. Same to you, man. Hoping your family had an awesome Easter. Hope all is going great. We did. We had a good weekend, man. We had a long weekend with some friends' house on Friday. Then Saturday we did Erica's family's Easter, and yesterday we did my family's Easter. So long weekend, but fun. Had a great time. Steve Menard, good morning. Justin, I mean, each season has its ups and downs. Fans freak out. Oh, gotcha. You're saying if we start slow. I don't know if that's really what you meant, Justin. You said it seems like we start slow every year. But anyway, whatever. I think LSU baseball fans do tend to be reactionary. I do agree with you on that. And I mean, just look at a year ago. In May when you lost the last 2 weekends, and then went 1-2 in the SEC tournament, people freaked out, and you won the national championship. So, I'll say here again what I said yesterday, which is, the season isn't slipping away for LSU baseball. Like an opportunity to win the SEC is slipping away. Perhaps opportunity to be a national seed slipping away. Regional host site, you better get moving. You know what I mean? But Tennessee a year ago is the best example. They started league play 5-10. They finished 16-14. They went to South Carolina, won their regional, went to Hattiesburg, won their super regional, went to Omaha. The refs are going to be trying their best to advance Iowa. It's just one of the dumbest things. Like, I hate comments like that. It's just so stupid. It's like, I hate conspiracy theories. It's so dumb. Like, why in the world would you even like that to me just reeks of a fan defense mechanism, like your excuse making in case your team loses. Like, give me a break. Like, there's nothing whatsoever to support that. Ethan, Paxton Kling, Cam Johnson, highly recruited, seem like project players to me. Well, Paxton Kling isn't a freshman. Paxton Kling is a sophomore. He's a draft eligible sophomore. And Paxton has been great in the field. And he struggled in conference play at the plate. He's pressing. There's no doubt. We've talked about that all year. Cam Johnson, there aren't many true freshmen that step into key roles immediately. The thing with Cam, and we've talked about it, is, and first of all, any pitcher, let's say if you went straight from high school, got drafted and signed, like, you're going to the minors as a project. Like, you're not, if you were ready, you'd be playing in Major League Baseball. Cam Johnson just needs to be refined. And I think so much of it is just nerves. He played in front of 50 people when he was at IMG. Now all of a sudden you're on the road in front of 11,000 people cheering against you, and every time you throw a strike, they're losing their minds. And yeah, I mean, can't replace that experience. I need to follow up with Ocho. Thank you for the other reminder there. I'll follow up with him. Let's see, American Patriot. Women officiating has been horrible all week. They changed the trajectory of Oregon State, South Carolina. I hope it's not like that tonight. I'll say it again. All refs are bad in every sport. They don't intend to be. They're just bad at their jobs. We expect perfection. That's impossible. So they're all going to be bad. Who dat talking? Why do people love to hate on Angel when Caitlin Clark? I don't know. Jacob Willis, good morning. Hopefully playing our best ball at the right time. Hopefully so, man. Matt McGuire, know of anywhere I could use your name to get some discounted crawfish? Unfortunately, no. But Rouse's does have crawfish. We had Rouse's crawfish yesterday for Easter. They were great. Let's see. Bill Caffey, did you see the story about the 3-point lines being off Portland for women? I did. I did. For those that didn't see it, like the 3-point lines weren't equal. They weren't the right lengths. So they agreed to play on. And I guess you look at it from the standpoint of each team would have that for half the game. So Barry Day, good morning. Marie with laughing emojis. Okay. All right. Y'all have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get to work. Drew and Erica both off of school this week, but kind of a normal week still for me. So as always, shout out to Brock, the Badger Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. They're the best. And of course, Hudco Roofing. If you got roof issues, give us a shout. 364-1007. Our crews are out and about today, commercial or residential. We'd love to help you out. 364-1007. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. We'll see you I'll get you LSU Daily. Ooh, I forgot to do that last night. I'll do LSU Daily this morning. And then AFR tomorrow at 3. Peace.